But network marketing is different. For a small initial cost, you become a business owner. You've got the opportunity. And you don't have to quit your job. Here's the beautiful thing. You don't have to quit your job. You don't have to borrow the money at the bank to do it. You don't have to be an expert day one. You simply just, you got to find a way to get started. And what I love about Coach being here this morning and Jason being here this morning is I just went and did an in-home meeting the other night where he joined. He joined this business. Today he sits on the IPA Zoom. The barrier of entry is so low here, but the opportunity is so incredibly high. How is a person that I'm about to bring on spent decades doing this industry full time? How has that happened for a very low startup cost? He supported his entire family, his entire kids, his entire grandkids. How does that happen? Because this industry is magnificent. It's accessible. And here's number two, there's support available. Like the minute someone joins network marketing, think about it. You got mentors. You've got trainings like this. You've got systems at your fingertips. You've got events like PXP. You're not going to PXP for your upline. You're going to PXP because you're trying to create the future you want for you and your family. That's why you're going. You've got team support. You've got people like this person I'm about to bring on that's already done it and they're trying to help you. Success leaves clues. Fred Duff would tell you that. He's had success in his industry. It leaves clues. Instead of figuring out everything alone, you can learn from someone already succeeding. That's the beautiful thing. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. You have a proven system. That's what network marketing gives you. Number three, it's flexible, right? Like the business fits into your life. You can build it before work. You can build it after your work. You can build it during your lunch breaks. You can build it on the weekends. You can build it from your phone. You can build it while you're traveling. Like you can build it anywhere. Tell me another business that allows that. If I went and bought a McDonald's franchise today, guess what? I bought a four building, four walls, and guess what I better do? I better turn it up in there every day, right? It's not that that's a bad thing, but it's dictating my schedule, not me dictating the schedule I want. So you're not buying a schedule here in network marketing, you're creating one. Number four, it's learnable. Tom Cooley does not have to be an expert right now. He can learn and over time be an expert, right? People often think, oh, I got to be a natural salesperson. No, you don't. You just got to simply get started and start to learn the inviting skills, the follow-up skills, the sharing your story skills, the asking question skills, the listening more than you talk skills, the leadership skills. Nobody starts as an expert here. That's the beautiful thing. Everybody starts as a beginner. And so here's what I love about network marketing. And I hope it's growing belief in what we got. Here's the deal. It's not, my future is not determined by my background. I got pulled out of school for reading, writing, math, you name it. I got pulled out. It's determined by my willingness to learn. No one has to worry about if Brent Palmer's showing up to PXP because the good Lord willing, I'll be there sitting in the seat because I learn, I grow, okay? While everybody else is selling their tickets or figuring out a way not to show up, I'm figuring out a way to get there. Not for you, for me. Number five, it's fair. One of the things I love about this profession is everyone starts with the same opportunity. That's what I love about it. You don't get promoted because of your age or your background or your color of your skin or who your parents are or who your last name. No, nobody cares about that in network marketing. You just simply start and it's an even playing field. Go get it. That's why usually the people that tell you they're going to kill it and all this stuff they're going to do, they normally don't do a thing. They don't do a thing because they're all taught. And the person sitting over there that's just the consistent daily go getter, daily, 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 builds an empire that pays them forever. So here's the deal, it's results, not resumes. I don't care what you've done. I care what you want to do and what you're willing to get after it with. And here's the it's proven and profitable. I'm going to end with this one. This profession has produced millions of successful entrepreneurs all over the world. How many of you know Tony Robbins? Guess where he got his start? Network marketing. How many of you know Darren Hardy? Guess where he got his start? Network marketing. How many of you know Jim Rohn? How many, like I could go on and on and on. It's produced millions of successful entrepreneurs. Robert Kiyosaki, one of the greatest financial minds of our day, network marketing. Companies have operated successfully for decades in this industry, but yet we listen to someone tell us it doesn't work. And we go sit in our between our two ears and go, I don't know if I'm doing the right thing. Why would I talk to someone at a friend of mine at church? Why would I talk to someone at my school? Because it could change their life, is why you do. Entire families have changed their financial future through this model. People from every background has succeeded through this model. The opportunity's already been proven. So the question is where you will you participate? Will you get after it? And in saying that, I want to bring on my friend, one of my best friends in the world, Chris Doyle. I would call him for anything. And I asked Chris to come on this morning, and I read you this today because I don't feel like anyone seeks network marketing. Network marketing finds them because of their situation. Sometimes it's products. Sometimes it's financially. Sometimes it's just somebody wanting to be in a community that uplifts them. But they don't pick network marketing. It finds them. And Chris Doyle is a great example of that. A lot of people would think Todd Rowland found Chris Doyle. Not true. Not true. Chris Doyle found network marketing because of his nephew, because of a four-wheeler that he had borrowed. And he felt guilty and he had to show up. But when he showed up, he saw something that Chris Doyle needed. It wasn't products, it wasn't community, it was money, it was finances. And so I wanted Chris to come on. I wanted him to hear. I didn't even tell him. I wanted him to hear me share what I shared with you. And then I wanted him to share his wisdom for a few minutes because, guys, here's the deal. This is an income producing activity call. This is equal opportunity. Some people talk a good game and they never do anything. And some people just go out and work this business and they build a financial asset for their family while getting people healthy. Chris Doyle, for decades, has lived off the network marketing industry and has supported his entire family with it. And so, Chris, thank you for being on early in the morning. And thank you for being my best friend in the world. But I just wanted you to share your wisdom, hearing me share what I shared, and just some thoughts you had around what you've built here.
Thanks, Coach. I mean, I obviously that makes my head swell here telling me about this legend, all that. That's really not the way this all started, to be perfectly honest. It's not an industry I ever expected to be in any long term. But I will tell you, my background is business, as you know. I've owned multiple types of businesses, and most people remember me because of the blue jean business. That's what I was kind of noticed, the guy that had employed over 400 people and lost that company. And you're right, I did not join this industry because I had a product I got excited about. I didn't get. I was not the guy that was looking for any kind of product anybody was selling. I was simply looking for a way to I was in a bad place. I'm being honest. I was praying for a change. Let me make a statement before we start on what, guys, if you ever get across that line, and what I mean by that line is where I had made a lot of money. I had done very, very well. When you decide whether to drive a Porsche or a Ferrari to work, you're trying to pick which one. You've made money. Okay. Paid for. They're not on monthly payments. They're just sitting in the driveway. And then you lose it all. You're looking to go back. Yes. To be honest, I got so humbled. I was just looking to contribute again. And I didn't know that I never even dreamed that I would do network marketing. Didn't want, so for many of you out there that are thinking that someone you know, oh, they would never do this. Oh, they're not suit. Okay. I found out later, many people knew that I had lost my company, but did not call me about the first company I got involved in. That's 26, 27 years ago. Yet my nephew, as you know, extorted me to go to a meeting. So here's the thing I will tell you as a business owner, network marketing makes sense. And the funny part is it doesn't make sense to employee mentality people. It makes sense to business people. That doesn't mean they'll all do it, but it makes sense. And what do I mean by that? Well, it's just sales. I mean, we're basically bringing customers to a company and we get paid to do it. How the layout and the pay goes is really no different than anything else if you really get down to it. I mean, my own domain, it's funny to me when somebody says, oh, it's one of them things, it's one of them pyramids. I always laughing because I say, really, that's what I owned. I can assure you, I owned the company. I had plant managers, I had HR people, I had supervisors. They all made different pay grades. But who made the decision on those pay grades? I did. But who made the most money there? I did. So I was at the top of the food chain. So network marketing was different for me. And I had a trouble in the very beginning. To make that very clear, I did not, I struggled. I did not, I didn't understand. Everybody was my partner. They weren't my employee. And that's where I think that so many people that are good at this understand that it's about your team. If you can help, I think it's Zig Ziglar's quote, help enough people get what they want, you get what you want. I could probably give you 1,000 quotes and never knew who they came from because I've built my mind. And but that was something that happened a long time ago, mentally speaking. For those who think you got to be super smart, and Coach Palmer, I don't know what your degrees are, but I know you went to college or you couldn't have been in uh, coaching, and you couldn't have been a school administrator, you couldn't have been a principal. Guys, I didn't go to college. I had a 1.7 GPA. So that's not going to get you any college. It's not even a community college. But what I did have that happened at that early stage was my mindset. I was lucky enough to see something happen as a child and I got involved in mindset. So when we talk about, you talked about this being mindset Monday, that's really what I talked about is what mentally makes the difference. So why was I able to succeed in network marketing? Have you ever heard the old saying, it's easier to make the second million? I think that's now I understand why. It's not because you've got money. That's what I always thought it meant. No, what it really meant was your mind changed, your thinking pattern changed. So though I had lost a lot of money, I knew I could do it. I'd done it once in something that most people never thought would work. Stonewashed blue jeans. People like, what? You ever seen the bankers' faces? But same thing was so true when I got to network marketing. See, we think we're exclusive. Nobody likes our industry. I had so many people thought I was nuts for going in the blue jean business. Now, you're going to do what to them? I went, well, I saw this guy. Success leaves clues, right? So most people think I was just smart and went out and found network marketing. Most people thought I was smart and went out and found the blue jean business. Nope. Blue jean business started because I saw someone successful in the industry and I began to search it. And the network marketing came from me meeting, as you mentioned, Todd. Todd was the upline. And I mean, I'll be as honest as I can. I met Coach Rowland and was not very impressed. Um, just an old football coach from Arkansas, but he was, you know what he was doing? He was making a decent amount of income, more than he had ever dreamed. And it was that much money then. It's just that when you're broke, and that's where I was at, I had lost everything. We lost $8.5 million in a short period of time. And so I didn't join this industry with this grandeur that I'm going to be doing it 25 years later. I joined it out of necessity because I needed to make an income stream. But I had the right mindset. It looked like it could work, and then I made a decision to go to work. As a matter of fact, maybe a little bit too extreme. I actually quit what I was doing. I had a job I hated. And for those that don't know, I was a bounty hunter and bail bondsman. What a great career I was now having, just trying to make ends meet. So it wasn't like I had something to fall back on. So that's how I ended up in network marketing. And I was expecting to do it for a few years till I can figure out what my real business was going to be until I began to learn and expand my mind and recognize it was me that had a negative idea about the industry. I was embarrassed, by the way, coach. When I started the industry, people said, "What are you doing?" I said, "Well, I've got into sales, I've got into marketing." It took me about 5 or 6 years before I'd say network marketing. Isn't that funny?
And Chris, we were talking earlier about this, and I just wanted, on your closing, as you close out, one of the things Chris said is he built his whole business. I'll say this, and I'm going to ask him a question. If Jason joined his business today, Chris would say, "Hey, can you get to 10 people together that's like-minded like you, and I want to come over and I want to meet them." How many of you could do that to a new person? Like, could you get 8 to 10 people together over at your place? Chris used to grill out for them. He'd cook buffalo wings. He's a professional griller, by the way. So,
Thank you.
and a great UT Vols supporter for all you UT fans. But here's the thing. How many, sometimes we overcomplicate network marketing. And Chris said this morning. He said, people come here for all different reasons. So if you are expecting to build a big, massive organization of everybody wanting to make $1 million a year, you're looking at this thing the wrong way. Chris, could you talk about that just as we end and go to the IPAs this morning?
The most important thing I could probably tell anybody is you got to meet people where they are. And what I mean by that is that in the very beginning, that was one of my biggest failures. I wanted people to want what I wanted. I was trying to replace a multi-million-dollar company, and that was my mindset. But I wanted everybody to have that same mindset. And let's make this very clear. Your team will be made up, and their minds may change, but your team be made up by that stay-at-home mom who's got 3 kids, and all they're really needing to do is to make $1,000 a month. Don't let that be a problem. Don't let that, you meet them where they are. Their mind may grow later into something bigger, but help them accomplish what their goals are. And I think sometimes we feel like people are failures because they don't want to make $10,000 a day or $10,000 a week or 10, it doesn't matter. What is important is what are they after? That can change. I want to make a point, Brent. You said there was someone on the call. Somebody you said, "Hey, I was at a home party." Do you understand Coach Palmer is about as successful in this industry as anybody I know? He is literally, he's one of the best I've ever met in the industry. He's doing a home party. And by the way, when my business went backwards a little bit, I forgot I got a little bit too big for my britches. I thought I had to go places there was only 50 people in the room or 100 people in the room. Coach Palmer still does living room presentations. He's at the basics. And guys, when you get your business so big that you don't think you can do the basics, I think that's one of them. That's a football quote by Vince Lombardi. This is a football. Well,
That's
sometimes you got to be basics. And what you just said is the most important thing. Meet people where they are, but don't forget where you started. And you build a business one on one in living rooms. And I love Zooms and I love all the other tools we have. Man, there's nothing like face to face with somebody. Figure out what they're looking for. And that's really the most important thing I can tell you is that you don't have to be have goals of $1 million a year. You can have goals just to make a life change, if that makes any sense. And that'll change. I mean, when I started out here, I just needed to get rid of what I was doing. And I really thought I was going to go find a different business. And then I realized this industry could really do well. And I saw people doing well. And so I just decided, why not me? Why can't I get to that next level? And that's what I love what you said about it being a level playing field, coach, because this ain't about who cute. This ain't nobody accused me of being favoring Brad Pitt. So this ain't about my good looks. It ain't about my cute. And I'm certainly 1.7 GPA. I wasn't the smartest guy in the book. Here's what I was though. I was meant. There's a little piece of real estate right here. If you can get control of it and don't let somebody else, stay away from negative people. I had someone call me on my team just recently telling me about somebody on their group. It's just they're just always negative. I said, cut them loose. They'll not only hurt you, they'll hurt your team. So, guys, your mindset and your team's mindset will depend on how you handle it. And that's so critical. You got to keep, what's the old saying? One bad apple will spoil a whole bunch. Well, guys, you want to get rid of them bad apples out of your business and get people that are mindset with what your similar goals. Does that make sense? I hope it does.
abs. No, 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 100%. Yeah, it makes sense. And one of the, Chris, thank you for being on this morning because here's the thing. To me, Chris adds belief in what we're doing because of the wisdom that he's been through in life, right? And this is an asset to him that continues to pay him week over week over week, and he's helped so many other people get that asset. So to me, the wisdom he has, when I need something in life, a decision to make, I call Chris, right? So thank you for being on this morning, and love you, man. And
Thanks for having
I, I want to share this from a call to action and then turn it to the IPAs. If you're on this call today, how many of you that is on this call today that does not have an in-home meeting, a meeting set up? Here's my challenge for you. If you could get 5 people, 8 people, 10 people together that's like-minded like you, reach out to somebody in this company and say, would you come over and help me with it? Because network marketing is special because you're not doing it alone. All you have to do, if Jason called me right now and said, would you come back to Tennessee? I'll get 8 to 10 people together, like-minded like me. I would say, yes, sir. Let's put it on the books. So your opportunity is there for you. All you got to do is ask the question. And that's what makes network marketing different. If you owned a plumbing company, guess what you're not going to call? The plumbing guy down the street and say, would you come plumb for me today? The answer is no, because I've got to go do my job. Here it's different. So if you don't have a meeting scheduled, go schedule it with someone that'll come help you and put 8 to 10 like-minded people in a room. Watch what happens to your business. Okay. And then the last thing is let's go out today on this Monday. Don't worry about Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Go out today. Who's waiting on you to tell them about a product that could make them more healthy? Who's waiting on you to tell them about a business that could make them an extra $200 a month? Who's waiting on you to tell them about a community you're a part of that can be so uplifting as this IPA Zoom Monday through Friday? Go out and do this business, not for you, but for the person that's praying on the other side and don't know that this business is there for them. Like you just heard, Chris Doyle did not know when he showed up that night. This would be a multiple decade asset for him and his family. Let's go do it for that reason. Okay, Dr. Sarah, we'll turn it to you. Chris Doyle, thank you so much.